Hey folks, this is Bardic Dragoon. Welcome back to Spyro reignited. And I think I'm just going to call it Spyro going forward, because it's basically all it is, just prettier. Anyway, when we last left off, we'd cleared up this hub area and 2 of the levels, and this time we're going to finish up the last few levels of this world here, of this first world. Starting with Town Square. This level's actually kind of interesting. I mean, it's also just kind of interesting in general. But I think I mentioned last time we were talking about the demo for this game that I played way too much of, as well as the fact that, well, less important for the whole replaying this first world because my mom bought the system. And like, what do you mean you need a separate thing to save your game? It's not built into the disc or whatever? Anyway, point is, in that demo, this level wasn't there, if I'm not mistaken. At the very least, I remember like playing the game, like when I actually got the game and playing first, I'm like, oh wow, what's this level? Especially, I think there was actually a different level here. I think it was Stone Hills that we played. No, it wouldn't have been Stone Hills, would it? I honestly don't remember. I don't know, like there was a different level in that spot. It might have actually been Stone Hills. I don't know.
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the right stick to get a good look.
And behold, you dropped your easel, dude. Boink. Yep, that didn't quite work. Have hamburgers. Huh. I never noticed that. If you headbutt them, they get their horns stuck in the ground. They still drop the gem and are still defeated, but they'll just sit there until you flame them, I guess. Weird. Never noticed that, actually. And, of course, we have standard stuff you'll find in these games. Oh, one thing I'm pretty sure we did in the last episode but I didn't mention. Little silver dragon statues that come in those chests, those are extra lives. So you know if you need extra lives, that's where they are, that's what they look like. Man, these dragons are pretty close together, aren't they?
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing the jump button at the very top of your jump?
I think we already heard that one. They're already starting to repeat advice from dragons here. Admittedly, there's a lot of dragons to find in this game, so like the fact that they would start repeating eventually is kind of not the least bit surprising. Get rid of that matador, get rid of that bull. And yes, there is an egg thief. Yeah, that's right, you can't stand on the fountain. Yes, there's an egg thief up there. We'll deal with him in a moment. Because, of course, well, we can't get up there from here. However, up these stairs. Are those bulls going to bug us? Nope, okay, we're outside of their aggro range, so they're not going to bug us. We'll need to deal with them in a moment anyway, but first things first. Boink! Haha! Unfortunately, this egg thief is one of the first, like, really obnoxious ones you'll find. Oh yeah, it was also over here. I forgot about this. So we'll get back to that egg thief in a moment. First, we'll get some gems. Because that's really the big deal in this game. Or at least that's the largest volume of collectible there is in this game, so, you know. Then we'll rescue this dude.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. You can always check your progress by accessing the guidebook through the pause menu.
And as for these chests, I never noticed you can actually see the gem inside there in this remake. That's nifty. But yes, these chests you have to well, the front thing, you can stand on them, they spin. That's kind of cute. Let's see if we can... Okay, the only one that goes really fast, but... Can't headbutt them because, of course, they're metal, so you have to flame them. Oh, actually, metal you can only headbutt, but yeah. Flame it, and you'll notice... Woo! You flame it, it spins faster. But after time, it starts to slow down. So, what you have to do is flame it a couple of times until it spins so fast it just explodes itself. And yeah, there's where we went up to go try and started chasing the egg thief, is over in that direction. There's our exit. Speaking of that egg thief, though. Actually, nah. Let's take this path. First rescue this guy.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run, run! I'm getting a little winded.
And thus we found all the dragons in this level. Now... And actually one thing that's kind of interesting with this remake, well, not super interesting I suppose, but a little detail, because that's the kind of stuff you talk about when you make these. All the different lines from the dragons, for the most part, they are the same as they were in the original game. The only thing that's really changed is that the original game was notorious in the fact that there were like, I think there's a total like 80 dragons, or like 60 dragons or something like that in the game. And he didn't actually reset himself. That's fine. Maybe easier to skip the find any gems I might have skipped by accident. Alright. Now this one, he can be obnoxious because the way that he does things is he'll run, he'll jump down there, then he'll run back up those stairs and come back and go back to... Oh. Hello. You're gonna miss some chest. But as I was saying... Oh, there we go. That's all the gems. Okay. We just need to get that dragon egg when we finish with this level. But yeah. He'll run up and come back up to here where you can't get him unless you go all the way back to the start and then you have to chase him again. But if you time that right, before he runs up those stairs, you can just flame him and there you go. You got that dragon egg. That makes the level 100% complete. And so, I mean, we could just go exit level, but that's boring. Instead, we're going to come up here and use the teleportal. Another interesting thing about this, but the like I was saying about the dragon dialogue. There was a good number of them, I think. Something like 4 or 5 of them out of all the dragons you can find. Which admittedly, while not an insignificant percentage, is still not a terribly huge percentage. So, still hooray for, old school Insomniac on that. But yeah, that the only line was just like, thank you for releasing me. And they've actually kept all the lines the same, except for those, except they kind of did. Like the one, we actually, I think, found one of them in... Stop ruining my shot. In the previous level, where he says that, but then they say something else on top of it. Usually relating to like the few additions they've actually made to the game here, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, one more level here. Yeah. Dark Hollow. And this level actually introduces an interesting concept that will, of course, become more relevant as this game goes on. Pretty much, if you've played the first world of this, you kind of understand a lot of how this game is going to work. They will throw new ideas at you, but pretty much enemy type, or like how enemies will work, bosses, all of that, like they'll show up in different forms in different ways. But in general, you've pretty much been introduced to most of the mechanics here once we finish this world. Guys with giant metal shields, of course, can't flame them, so you headbutt them. On this level, our enemy spawn thing is frogs. And yes, you can do a falling headbutt if you run off a thing. Yeah, another locked chest. That's nifty. And, yep, over here. We have this big dude. Strike the enemy a couple of times. But he's a big dude, you're not going to be able to headbutt him, so you do that instead. Set him fire to him. Again, metal shields, easy to deal with. Gems, and talk with this dude.
Oh, it's you. I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Their metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
And that does remain sort of true even in the exceptions where it doesn't. You'll see what I mean in a moment here. Actually, much sooner than I thought. I forgot that the thing is right here. Okay. We have these guys. Predictably enough. Can't flame, but they're too big. They're big dudes, so we can't headbutt them either. Thankfully. They don't actually hurt us. But if you flame their exposed butts, they go down. That's what I meant by the exceptions. Like, oh, they're metal enemies, you need to charge them, but that doesn't work. There is one in a later level that you do have to charge, but it's like you can knock them back temporarily. Oh, that didn't. Oh, that did work. Yay! Yeah, we can like charge them and it knocks them back, and I need to knock them off of a cliff or something like that. Or that was this one, right? It was one of the other games. Actually, I think they might have done it in one of the other games as well, but it first came up in this one, I think. Maybe don't quote me on that because man, it's been like, well, since this first game out, since this remake first came out, that was the last time I played this game here. Alright, I gotta love allergy season. Anyway, get these gems, rescue this guy. Yeah. Rescue this guy.
Spyro, wanna know a secret? Use the action button when you wanna zoom in and look around.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Did somebody already tell us that one? I remember talking about it, but I don't remember if one of the dragons actually told us that already. Oh well. Well, let's get the heck out of here. This tunnel. We picked up the key. Which a lot of times the key and chest aren't as conveniently located as like this situation. Or actually, I guess Stone Hill was also kind of convenient too. Sort of. It was kind of a secret area right near the exit, so that level is kind of laid out in a very non-linear way. More of a hub and spoke design, I guess. Okay, I was hoping to get all three of them, but that guy just had to run away, didn't he? By the way, that's what happens when the giant club hits you. I feel like it's kind of predictable that's what would happen, but, you know, just decided I needed to show that anyway. Totally not a failing on my part to press the buttons at the right time. That doesn't happen. Also, you can set fire to those. It does absolutely nothing, but it's a thing you can do, so that's cool. Oh, also, when gliding, if you hit the triangle button, you just drop out of the air. It's kind of useful if you're like one of those things where it wants you to glide somewhere, but doesn't want you to like do a full glide. You're just like, okay, I'm where I need to be. Drop out of the sky. Or you can also, you know, get yourself killed by accident. That happens a lot. That's happened to me quite a few times doing that too. Like, all right, I'm where I need to be. Oop, that was too short. Now I'm dead. That's like where 90% of when I die in this game tends to happen and stuff like that. Haha. It seems like the way that enemies are designed in this, they don't really react until like you're on ground level with them a lot of the time. So that can be used to your advantage with enemies like that, or the... where like they're lower than you, you can approach them from above and kind of just drop down on them. And I believe this is the last dragon, because I think that, yeah, there's a teleportal and there's nothing left to do in this level, so...
Big enemies like this Nork with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
Yeah, great to tell us that at the end of the level we've had to deal with how many of them already? Alright, and that is 100% complete, so let's go back home. Alright, and so with all of that, we've completed all the levels. And actually, interesting thing with this one, if you go through the levels more or less in the order I did, Sunny Flight kind of being the last one, mostly because Sunny Flight, you don't learn about that little thing you do to unlock it until a dragon in either the second or third world tells you about it. So, like, you normally wouldn't come to that in the first world when you're here. But each one of these you kind of notice, like Stone Hill is kind of nice and sunny. Actually, wait, the way that's organized here, never mind. But Town Square, it's kind of, you know, sunset. Dark Hollow, obviously, is done at night. And the flight level is kind of nice, bright morning, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we've beaten, well, we've beaten one world and then some. The dragon head opens up and we can go to Toasty. Toasty! They still do that in the Mortal Kombat games? It seems like as they've gotten more gruesome and more realistic, they wouldn't have this silly stuff like that, but I don't know. Anyway, this is a boss level. Bosses in this game are kind of underwhelming. The levels are usually more interesting than the bosses themselves. And that's a shepherd. They will try and swat at you. Or they will send their dog at you. If you get too close. The dogs are really what you need to watch out for. But the dogs, once they are aggroed, they move quick. And you need to flame them twice in order to kill them. And if I'm not mistaken, this level we are kind of screwed because there are no there are no recovery enemies. Still not sure what to call those things. Thankfully, I finally remembered how the heck to deal with those stupid dogs. So that's cool. There we go. Okay, those dogs are actually kind of the worst thing in this level, difficulty-wise. Boop. Actually, the fact that there aren't any enemies you can use to recover health in this level, it actually kind of makes sense thinking what the boss actually is. But, no, I'm not going to spoil that one for you guys here. Instead, we're going to, do our normal collect treasure and stuff. Because, as I said, the boss levels are more difficult in the sense that they are levels than that they are bosses. So this one is probably one of the better bosses in this game. Actually, yeah, it really kind of is.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on! I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. Toasty has many tricks up his sleeve.
And yeah, just that one dragon in this stage. And behold, there's Toasty. Big old Grim Reaper with a pumpkin head looking dude. The way you fight him is actually not too dissimilar from the shepherds. Except you hit him, and he runs to the next area where, uh-oh, now there's two dogs. Ruh-roh. And yes, it's just a sheep. A very angry and now currently rather singed sheep. Now hiding behind 3 sheepdogs. Ow. Oh, of course, right at the end. This is what happens when you lose a life. You actually game over. I know in the remake here, because I've unfortunately done it once or twice, you just get a scene of like Spyro looking kind of sad against a black background. Aha! 2 dogs, 1 flame breath. Heck yeah. There we go. And of course the final hit gives you a lot of gems and lowers the gate to the exit. And yeah, as far as mentioned in the previous video, skill points, which weren't part of the original game, so I'm not super concerned with them. But yeah, in this one they are kind of obnoxious. Like, oh, we already missed one in Stonehill, actually, even. Oh, and Town Square. Okay, I guess I did know, because I remember getting all the skill points. That's like, I'll get all the bulls stuck. Oh yeah, if you headbutt them, they do that. And then, huh. Alright, I swear there was one for beating this guy without taking damage. But I guess it's only all the other bosses except this guy. Go figure. Weird. Anyway, either way, let's get the heck out of here. And with the first world completed, we have gathered... Well, that's once we can open the full screen here. Take a look at all that. There we go. We have gathered 1,000 gems, 16 dragons, and 2 eggs that we found so far. Get in my belly! Or get in my dragonfly's belly, as the case may be. There we go. Alright. And so, with the whole of World 1 completed, it's time to come over here and talk to Marco the Balloonist. Hi, buddy.
Wow! I see you've been busy rescuing dragons, Spyro. You may travel to the Peacekeepers world if you like. Are you ready to go?
Heck yeah, let's go to Peacekeepers. We're so far away, we've actually got to ride an air balloon rather than just fly there. But hey. It's a nice view, at least. Also, load times. Don't remember correctly, the load times in the original game weren't that bad. But it's been like almost 2 years since like a year and a half, almost 2 years since I played this, so the original, who knows. Anyway, tune in next time where, well, we're going to explore the Peacekeepers realm. Until then, as always, later, folks.